And I am from Croatia.
And you're both teachers, yes?
Yes.
Lovely. So, in general, can you remember how much training you got as teachers in dyslexia awareness?
0.
Yeah, none.
None at all?
None.
Yes, I have encountered it by chance, so to say, in teacher meetings, county teacher meetings, where it was a topic during one of those meetings. But I was never approached and told, okay, you should attend this class or whatever and be informed on dyslexia.
Okay.
It's not part of teacher training program in Hungary, or it might be now. I'm quite sure it's not compulsory. So it might be an optional subject.
Yeah, also yes, when
possible.
I was training to become a teacher, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't even optional?
No, it wasn't even optional.
And when was that, if I may ask? If that's not an indelicate question.
For me, it was like 20 years ago.
So for me, it was around 2007, 8.
Yeah, so about 20 years ago, about 12 years ago, that sort of time. Do you get dyslexic students in your class?
Yes.
Yeah, I teach in a secondary school. We get dyslexic students, but there is an entrance exam, and our school it's considered a quite good school, so that's why we don't face this problem so often as, for example, a primary school would. But we do get dyslexic students, like we have 30 students in a class. 5-6 of them would struggle with some level of dyslexia, or this something else.
and if you have children who struggle with, let's say, dyslexia or dyscalculia, do you have a special teacher who comes in? Are they sent to a different class, or what happens?
No, I work in a primary school, and the students are integrated into the regular classroom. The teacher is not special for them, and they are given an individual program. So the teacher has to adapt his or her lessons to the children.
Okay, and yet there's no special teaching on how to adapt?
No.
Okay.
I think in our case it really depends on the teacher, so we don't have to adapt our lessons. It's the question of whether the teacher is willing to adapt the lessons to the students' needs.
And do the students get extra time in exams, or do they get examined differently?
Okay.
Or do you mark them and grade them differently?
Well, both. They get actually no, they don't. They do not get extra time in the exams, but their exams are appropriated for them.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Some of the students get extra time, but I don't think in the case of dyslexia there is this. I don't know what the term, for whom it takes longer to get the same result, but they will get there.
Yeah.
And so they can get extra time, and then they get extra time for tests. They also get extra time, even in the case of the school leaving exam, they have an extra hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have different classifications and different programs according to the needs of the children. So one is the individualized program, where the student has all the regular textbooks, only the approach to his teaching is individualized. There is an adapted program where the student will have a special type of textbook adapted to his needs. Those would be the slowest students. And there is a third level. I don't know if it has a specific name, but these are the cases where the students will get an assistant.
Yeah.
Those could be serial health issues like cerebral palsy, but quite often they are simply help in teaching, especially with Romani children.
Yeah.
And behavioral.
Yeah. And sorry.
Yeah, just one more thing that you asked about grading. Yes, of course, again, it's also the teacher's decision, but there are some students who are not graded in certain subjects. So if someone struggles with serious dyscalculia, they might I know a student who is not graded in maths.
Yeah. And how does that student feel? Does that student feel that this is a good thing, or does that student feel that something bad is happening, or?
It's a difficult question. You would have to ask the student.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I think it makes it easier because not being graded is still better than failing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have noticed one occasion that shows this. So I had two students in my classroom. One was on a special program, and the other one was being processed. And I heard a conversation between them during the test, saying they were writing a test, and the one with the special program said to the other, "You don't have to put any effort into this test. You will soon be processed. You will get your results, and then you will have different and easy tests." And basically, children on a special program are generally do not get flunked.
Yeah.
They pass everything.
Okay. Is there one thing that you wish teachers in your country knew about dyslexia that perhaps they don't know? Or is that an impossible question?
In general, how to help these students. Because from time to time, and with dyslexia as well as other, I would call disabilities. Once I had a deaf student in my class. Her parents wanted her integrated, which is, yes, I respect that. I was a beginner teacher. I simply didn't know how to handle the situation.
Yeah. So teacher support would be a good.
Yeah, teacher support definitely. So if you want to integrate students into classes, the system of teacher assistants has to be developed in Hungary. It's simply impossible to integrate a deaf students. I know it's an extreme, but very often dyslexic students, I feel so sorry for them. Yeah,
the same in Croatia. I feel that there should be some sort of official education given to teachers. For example, I stumbled across the information I know about dyslexia, and the biggest revelation for me was that you can help them a lot by simply changing the font of the text you use. Instead of Times New Roman, use Arial or use Comic Sans, and that will help them a lot. I have a case in my school. One of the students was diagnosed with Asperger syndrome recently, and his teacher came to my library and asked me if I have any books on autism. And that is the only thing she can do. She cannot go to any institution and say, okay, I have this, I need this education, can you give me a 1-week course training or anything? She had to research it for herself.
Is this because of funding in schools and school resources?
Could be, but I think it's primarily organizational. There is no organization implemented to cover it.